Welcome to another episode of The Adult Potato. I'm Fiona Tater. Spencer Lotka is out this week. This episode has a theme to it, and it's all about our kids, those that are giving them safe places to be themselves, and those that are working on providing them safe ways to get there. And both of these groups do the great things they do because of the support via donations and volunteers from people in our community. Yes, that means you. We're going to start out by talking about an amazing group right here in Wellington that we can actually be incredibly proud of, the Boys and Girls Club. There are 2 locations, the Sage Homes Wellington Club for the 9 to 13-year-olds and the Eagles Club for the 14 and older kids. And the secret is out about the clubs as there are wait lists at both locations. Also, summer registration is coming up, so if you want in, better contact them to find out how to register. The Boys and Girls Club recently held their Youth of the Year event, where a child was picked from each club in Larimer County to compete at CSU for $15,000 in scholarships. The 18 finalists were provided with a tour of CSU, brunch, and a panel discussion with students from both CSU and Front Range Community College. To be chosen from the club, our little Wellington potatoes wrote a 2 to 3 minute speech that included a personal story, something about their experience in the club, and either a challenge they went through or an issue they care about. Then the Tater Tots gave these speeches to some of our prominent citizens, including Wellington's library director, Ross. And no, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. Besides, Ross is like Cher and Pink. He only needs one name. Anywho, these kids performed amazingly, and we are grateful to have the Boys and Girls Club in our own little town providing amazing resources and opportunities to shine. This week, we're continuing our Wellington Gold series, where we focus on organizations in town that help support and build our community, with our interview featuring Lowry Moyer from Safe Routes to School.
Welcome to another edition of Wellington Gold. And today we have Lowry Moyer from Safe Routes to School. So, right off the bat, what the hell is Safe Routes to School?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Safe Routes to School is a new nonprofit here in Wellington, and it is part of a national partnership. So this will be our local chapter. And our mission is really to build the community tools to promote active transit for our students to and from school. And we do that in several ways with infrastructure improvements, engagement tools, education, and incentives.
How are you going to get this done?
So we have a group of really super hardworking and engaged board members. Tim and Melissa Whitehouse, Nick Redavid, and Lisa Chalet is our chair. And we are planning several things. So Safe Routes to School has what they call the 6 E's: engagement, education, equity, engineering, encouragement, and evaluation. So our first step is to get filed for our 501c3, which we're currently working on. And then we're planning some really cool events for end of summer, beginning of the school year, to kind of get people out into the streets, walking to school. We want them to walk, roll, bike, however they get there, and get the community engaged with them. So we're going to be looking for volunteers to help us with some of these things. We're going to produce some marketing materials and education materials that we will then distribute through the schools and different places in the community about the education and importance for, physical health and mental health of getting outside and taking that walk rather than driving. It's really interesting. Many years ago, it was the norm to walk to school or ride your bike to school. And now we just don't see that anymore. So it really does affect your overall holistic health. And so we want to get kids back out there.
That's true. They have done those studies with showing the mental health benefits of walking, like 15 minutes a day type of deal. And with the reports that have been given at the Board of Trustees meeting about the mental health problems in our schools. That could be a way to kind of help that. So Safe Routes to School is not just Wellington, right?
Right. So it's part of a national partnership. Fort Collins has their own. There are other cities in Colorado that have their own. And there are chapters all over the country. Ours is unique. Fort Collins is attached to the school district and the city. And we are operating as our own nonprofit, which really, we're going to partner with the town. We're going to partner with CDOT and other agencies and nonprofits to kind of get the work done. But we're our own nonprofit. So we're unique in that way.
And will you be with the events that you're doing, like different fundraising when you get your 501c3, are you going to be bringing sponsors in? What type of ways are you going to get money in?
So we are going to be looking for sponsorships. We're currently operating with like zero money, just what our...
Hey, just like us!
Yeah, exactly. And so we really need to get some of that involvement from the community and support from the community in order to like start building our organization and do some of these things that we want. So we will be going after sponsorships, individual donations. But some of these events aren't going to be fundraisers. They're just going to be exciting ways to kind of incentivize kids to get out and get to school on their own.
What about grant money? Do you have access to grant money?
We will, yes. So we have a very long list of grants that we'll be applying for. There's lots of funding out there right now for transportation, obviously. And we are, going to work with the town on some things. And infrastructure, obviously the sidewalks, the town is already preparing to do a lot of sidewalk maintenance over the next couple of years. So some of these things we won't have to spearhead, but we will be applying for many, many grants, some having to do with mental health, to be able to fund all it is that we want to do. We have a long list of priorities, so we'll need lots of money.
You're going to be around for a while then.
We're going to be around hopefully forever, when Lisa and the rest of us move on, after our terms are up, we will hopefully have a new generation of leaders that's willing to take it over and feels just as passionately about it as we do.
Where are you seeing the biggest need right now? I'm guessing you've done some scouting around already in the schools. Where are you seeing the biggest need for some safe routes?
So I think the largest priority that we have, and this is obviously going to take a ton of money, but the most dangerous thing that we've identified is our railroad tracks, especially to the middle high school off of Cleveland and Highway 1. It's just, terrifying to think that our kids will be walking that every day. And so that's one of those long-term priorities that we know we can't hit right at this moment, especially, with CDOT's plans eventually doing the roundabout and all that. But we have identified it as a huge priority. And so other than that, there are a lot of sidewalks in our town that kind of stop and don't pick back up again. So really looking at that, and then also some bike sharing lanes possibly, and just marking, even identifying what the safest route to school is for kids going to Rice, going to Eyestone, or to the middle high school, and finding a way to indicate what those routes are so that kids know, oh, this is the best way to go. This is the safest way. So I would say those two things. And then we have talked a bit about the underpass trail that goes under I-25 from the east side to the west side. And that floods and it's dark and it's
that's scary.
Yeah. So we want to make that safer for our kiddos. and just our community in general. And that's the awesome thing about Safe Routes is any of these things that we do are not just going to be for the kids. It's for the kids, but it's for the whole community. And so
yeah, everyone gets the benefit. Yeah,
absolutely. And hopefully as we start to be able to implement some of these things, the community will get even more excited to have us in town and will want to engage with us more.
So you guys are just like brand spanking new. Do you have a website yet?
We do. It's www.srts-wellington.org.
Cool.
And you can donate at the website, but it's not tax deductible quite yet.
Yes. And then I'm guessing you'll have things set up where if people want to do recurring donations, like, $25 a month, and it'll just come out and go in, and that'd be great. I mean, honestly, like you said, not only it doesn't just benefit the kids, it'll benefit the entire community. But the thing is for those of us that have kids that are going to school, this is a great way to get them more active, and like we mentioned before, the mental health aspects of it. And hey, a little bit of vitamin D goes a long way too.
It absolutely does. And I have 4 kids, and they will all be in different schools next year. So
wow.
I'm really excited to see what we can do, because I just think it fosters independence too, right? And confidence, being able to get to and from someplace. So I'm excited to see what we can do, and I definitely have skin in the game. So,
do they have does the national org have any recommendations for not carpooling, because we're not taking cars, but kids going, like pulling up together and going as a group, or riding bikes as a group, or anything like that too? I mean, because there are some younger ones that, you might not want to, let go by themselves, but if there's a group of, 15 or so of different ages, that might not be so bad.
Right. I don't know that comes straight from the national partnership, but it's definitely good advice there, Potato. I mean, and that's what you used to see, right? In the 50s and 60s, like a whole group of the neighborhood kids would walk to school or bike to school together and then make it back home together. And so hopefully we'll see more of that here soon.
I hope so. All right, well, you got to know what I'm going to ask next. What is your favorite potato dish?
So I have been thinking about this really hard since yesterday. And it came to me this morning. It's good old fashioned potato salad, like southern potato salad.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you like in your potato salad?
I like
any specific ingredient that it just isn't right unless it's in there?
A little bit of mustard, but definitely you need the crunch with celery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh God, every time I interview someone, I'm so hungry. Oh God.
No.
Not fair. All right, well, any last calls to action on this Safe Routes to School? Go to the website, make a donation. Any other ways are there sign-up sheets or like an email newsletter or anything like that people need to know about?
We will eventually have a newsletter. Right now, we are searching for people to champion those 6 E's. So we already have Alex with the town is championing the engineering E, but we need people to be in charge of sort of subcommittees for the engagement, the education, encouragement, evaluation. So like if you like data, maybe evaluation's your jam. So we need volunteers, and then people that will be willing to be engaged when we're ready to do our back to school activities and other events. So there's a place to sign up to get more information, to volunteer, definitely to donate, though I do have to say it's not tax deductible, reiterate that at this moment, but it will be soon. And you can also just ask questions. Go to the website, there's more information. And then, if you see Lisa or me or Tim or Melissa or Nick out, feel free to ask us questions, and we want to get people involved. So that's our biggest focus right now.
Sounds awesome. So the website again is SRTS-Wellington.
Yes.
Or hyphen Wellington. Yes. Minus sign, whatever.
Yeah.
So
little line.
that little minus sign. S for safe, R for routes, T for two, and S for school, just in case my language is slurred with the voice modification that will be added. So, yeah. Okie doke. Well, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great March, and we look forward to great things coming from you guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, that's it for this episode. Guys, we'll see you next week with another episode of Wellington Gold.
Safe Routes to School has a lot of heart and a big goal ahead of them. As we said at the beginning of the episode, these organizations can do what they do because of the support from the community. Don't want teenagers roaming around the streets after school? Get involved and volunteer with the Eagles Club. My understanding is that the wait list there is because of staffing. Complaining about depressed kids that don't want to leave the house, jump in on the ground floor at Safe Routes to School and get those kids walking or riding their bikes twice a day to and from school. And if you don't participate in supporting either of these groups, then shut your pie hole because you are part of the problem. And that's the end of this episode. As always, thanks for watching and lock your doors.